Hi, your plumbing pal here. We're going to have a look at changing a tap washer in a sink deck mixer tap today. An old traditional 20 to 30 year old tap that's been dripping badly and we need to get it sorted. So what we're going to do is we've turned the water off, so it's the hot side that's dripping. We've turned the water off, it's a combi boiler. We've turned the cold water off going into the combi, and that allows us to open the tap and have no water coming out of it. Okay. The reason they call this a deck mixer is it sits flat and it's attached to the deck of the sink. It's not individual taps, it's not two separate taps coming up and drawing in the middle. The whole body is lying flat and it's on a big rubber washer. Differs a little bit from some of the more traditional taps in how you access the internal workings of it. So we've got a black plastic cap here. So we're going to use some simple tools again today. We'll be using shifting spanner, we'll be using crosshead screwdriver, we're using pump pliers and a small screwdriver. And the small screwdriver is going to allow us to lever the cap off this. So get your fingers under it, nails under it, put it to the side, and what we've got in here is a very old acrylic head, so we're not going to try and damage it, we're going to try and keep that in one piece. You can see the splits on it already, and it's a Phillips screwdriver in the middle, a crosshead screw, and we're going to undo that. Now this sink has no plug, so just to make sure that I don't lose anything down the drain, which to be quite frank would break my heart because I need to go and buy a new tap, I'm going to put a piece of kitchen roll in the bottom just to stop things falling down it. So, undo my screw and lift the acrylic head off the top. Take care with the acrylic head, you can see it's got fractures in it, it's got years of serviceable life, but we'd like to not wreck it at this moment in time. And we have the brass body here. We can tell the age of this tap because it's got a little circlet holding the workings of the tap up into it. The older taps have got a nut there. We're not going to touch that, so we're not interested in that. What we want to do is undo this brass body here. Not so much to hold against here because the sink deck mixer has a very tight fit onto the sink. So it should be a case of apply some leverage to our shifter, and what we do is we get the tap body loose and we'll take that out. So we have a look at it. We've got a small crosshead screw, Phillips screw in the middle, retaining the washer, and we can see there's a lot of space round about here that should be filled with washer and it's not, and that's the reason this tap's dripping quite badly as it happens. So if I stick my finger inside there and I run my fingernail round about the tap seat where the washer sits down in the valve seat, I can feel it's actually dome shaped. So this isn't supposed to be a flat washer, it's supposed to be a dome washer, but it's actually pretty much destroyed. So being careful not to stab yourself with a screwdriver, so try not to use the whole palm of your hand and the screwdriver like that, try and hold it like that, and that means that if the screwdriver slips, hopefully it will go through a space and not through the palm of your hand. So we'll undo the screw, remove the screw, place it carefully to the side, and we'll take off this washer. Now that's coming off because it's so badly damaged, that's coming off easily with my fingers. Much more normal, and the reason we're using this screwdriver is much more normal to have to lever that out. In this occasion we're not having to lever it out, so quite happy with that. And what we want to do is get a washer from our pack of washers, and here you can see quite clearly that this is not a flat washer, it's got a dome shape on it, if you can see the profile there, and that should fit in there beautifully, which it does. So this isn't like a normal old style tap, it's actually got a brass ridge around about it. And if the brass ridge is broken or damaged, don't panic, it's not a big deal. Somebody might have been rough on it in the past. It doesn't mean the washer won't plug the hole and it won't work perfectly. So let's put the washer in, make sure it's sitting evenly, there's no high spots in it, there's no bits of debris or old washer lying in there. And what we want to do is put our screw back in, and the screw really does quite an important job here. It really does retain the washer. The washer's a very loose fit. There's not the same frictional fit there is with a flat tap washer, the older type flat washer. So the screw doesn't do quite an important role here. Tighten it up, make sure it's clean, there's no rubbish on it that we've put on it, no debris. Finger round about the inside of the seat, and we're going to tighten this back in again, very lightly. Put it up finger tight, make sure it's on the right thread because it's a brass body and it's a brass nut, and we don't want to destroy it if we cross the threads when we're going to buy a new tap. So, tighten up nicely. Take our acrylic head, make sure it's sitting on properly and it's making contact. Turn the tap off, make sure the mechanism's operational, and then what we're going to do is just tighten up the Phillips screw in the middle to retain the head. Don't over tighten it, just make it tight enough that it holds it in place. If you over tighten it, these hairline fractures that you can see clearly in the acrylic are going to fall apart, and you're going to have to go away somewhere and buy new tap tops and tap heads, which defeats the purpose. So that's us, valves off, replace the cap, and we should now have a fully operational tap. So I'm just going to go and turn the water on. I'll remove my debris plug, better known in this case as a bit of kitchen roll, and go and turn the water on and we'll see if it's operating. Yep. So water's back on. What we want to do now is turn the tap on and let the water flow and any muck come through it. When you turn water off anywhere, a little bit of muck builds up behind the valve, so it's important to make sure that when you switch the water back on, let the water flow for a couple of seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and make sure any debris passed by your valve so that when you switch it off, it actually switches off and you don't catch debris between the valve seat and the washer and destroy it all over again. And that is us, one fully operational deck mixer tap re-washer. So thank you very much for watching yourplumbingpal.com, and good luck with washer changing. It's quite simple. Again, it's not rocket science. And please don't share the video. It's just a secret between you and me. Bye.